past the trees and the jackrabbits in the weeds. I took the long road home just to see what I could see. Well, it was a big wide world out there.
Well guys, another day back here in the garage and another pile of parts. A few less parts than we had a few days ago. What we've got left is effectively the side tubing, which what I've been calling the wings over here. So the main body here is built out, and now we're going to work on the wings. Each one is labeled top and bottom, and so what I'm going to do is probably just tack one of the top pieces on just so I can see sort of body angles and see where this is going to sit, and then we can kind of go from there. It's pretty simple. What you're going to use is their little L bracket sort of wing. This little wing is going to get tacked onto this tubing, and what this is going to do is create the angle for your wheel well here, as well as the angle that you're going to need for your bottom tube, and that's going to set you up for success on this piece so that everything kind of lines up and meets back at the main tube, if that makes sense. These little pieces, the little wing pieces here, are going to be a gusset off the main tubing where the tubing meets the center section. And then once you get it all dialed in on the ends, then you're going to work out these sort of double round pieces, so the tube ends will be sealed in the end. So other than that, pulling everything off and burning it together, and when we do that, this does come with some nice clevis pieces. It's a little bit lower on the bumper than I'd like. There's a few bumpers around Instagram and stuff that have been put together where I've seen it's third-party clevis joints, and they are up higher on the center section, but we're going to get these put on and we'll give them a test and see how they do down the road. Alright guys, from this point on it's going to be easier to work on the truck. So I've pulled the truck in closer to the garage. I've got the welder pulled out to the door. Center section is pretty much there. We still have some final welding to do, but we're going to get these side tubes mocked up, and you can see it's just tacked in there. It's a little loose. Alright, a couple tricks that I'm going to be trying here today is just using a digital angle finder. There are some manual ones that you can use. These are pretty just dead simple. They're not terribly expensive anymore. If I zero this out, that gives me a reference to the bumper, even though my driveway might be off. And then I can translate that over to this one when I do a final weld. So right now we're about a 1 degree up off that side wing, and I'm going to check it on the side as well because I think I'm a little off following that body line. Alright, what we're going to do is see what the actual truck itself is, zero this plane out, drop it, which is always important to do, and then try to see if I'm anywhere close to that. It looks like I'm a few degrees off, so it needs to come down just a little bit. But that gives me an idea. What I decided to do was leave this out farther. I thought about tucking it in a little bit closer to the body line, but again, I want to eventually down the road do a full wraparound to protect the lights and the bumper and give me some grill protection. So I want to leave enough meat of this tubing out so that I can tie onto this down the road. So although this may not perfectly align the body as much as I'd like, I think that's a better bet for future builds when I add on to this. The other thing you need to look at is how far back you want this into your wheel well. Right now with the double tube, I'm going to leave this forward a little bit more to allow me, if I need to, either put a flare on here or cut this out for larger tires when we finally move it to four-wheel drive in the future. So that should give me some future proofing of any plans I have down the road. All right, this gives you a kind of a closer look. You can see that I've just got it tacked up here. This angle is not quite parallel with the side wing. If I bring it out any further, it really doesn't follow the body line. And this gives me a just, I don't know what degree it is, but a little bit closer option. So I'm going to pull these tacks off and regrind this little piece in here just to get a little bit better interference between these two pieces when I go to finally weld it. As well as you can see, this angle piece that mounts it to the frame is also a nice little platform, and so I think I've got plenty of room that I'll build some towers off of this to build my future sort of grill protection and wraparound for the lights. Alright, the only hack and trick I've got with this for you today is I'm using a C-clamp on a ladder, as kind of a third arm, so I can kind of figure out where this is going to sit instead of just having this float in space here. It's got something that can actually attach to, and I can kind of work out angles to get some final spot welding done. Alright, one thing I'm doing is I've been radiusing a lot of these that interfere with the, or interface with the tubing, just to give a better fit so they don't stick out as far. It gives a little more, better spot for your weld to lay down in. Alright, things are looking pretty good. Ignore my, my welds. You know, I'm not the best welder in the world. But what I'm doing is I've got these all buttoned up here and stitched and burned in as well as I possibly can. You know, a grinder will go a long way to kind of clean up any sort of novice welding. But the side little piece here, this little wing, you'll notice is a 90-degree on the top, and it's got an angle on the bottom. And so that also kind of gives you a guide to see how well you actually got the sides you know, mounted up, and to see how accurate it is. Now, because I've already got a weld seam on the corners, I've notched this. I've also radiused these. I don't know if you can tell. I've beveled the back sides here so that when I lay this on this pipe, or tubing to be more correct, should be fairly flat. Alright, so admittedly, where these pieces come down here, I still have to clean up some of the welds here. But this bevel is what you're going to be cutting across, so you can add that end cap. And admittedly, without, you know, any fancy equipment, I'm just using cutoff wheels, and I'm going to try my best. I'm going to overshoot it a little bit more, and that way I can grind down to kind of get the best angles that I can. Alright, got this ground down as good as I can. I will let you know that I went through about one disc on each side, just cutting the round tube here. That's just, you know, without any other fancier tools. I could borrow a, you know, like a bandsaw, might do better, but this definitely worked. A little bit of grinding to work. Now these are these odd shaped little pieces that are going to go to the end, and the little rounder lollipop I think goes down here since this is a higher angle. There's not much instructions with this part, and just getting it as close as I can, and then the rest we're going to fill with a little bit of weld. Alright, getting it fully boxed in. I did choose to kind of run a bead all the way around, just kind of pull speed to kind of fill everything in. I will probably sand it down smooth before we get any paint on here. But the last piece of the puzzle that's left is these little clevis mounts. Now, I did go ahead and take the grinder and radius these just to get a little more space for the bead for the weld. And you know, we're probably gonna go this direction, so keep in mind that your mounts behind where they're going to attach to the van are right about here, and that doesn't give you a whole lot of room to play with here. Basically the bead's going to be right on the edge of this piece with just a corner licking off there. So I think what we're going to have to do is just a touch of grinding, but we should be able to get these here. And let's bring you around. Well, that kind of gives you the line that I'm looking at. Any further over, and this piece is not going to index with anything down here, and any further over here, and I'm going to have to plate this just to allow it to maneuver. If I try to turn it around, I run into kind of the same issues. Alright, just have these tacked into place, kind of making sure they're parallel with the face. I did effectively chase them with a square here, just to make sure they were both lined up. However, I'm going to put a lot of heat on these, and I'm not sure if they're going to want to go one direction or the other. I've got this turned up, the Eastwood 175, past J as high as it goes. I'm at wire feed 7, and I'm going to see if I can't just absolutely burn these in. This is probably the thickest thing I have ever welded, and it's going to be a recovery point. So that'll always be in the back of my mind when I go to use this in a recovery. All right, just working up some simple light tabs on here. We're going to be using the Diode Dynamics light, and my plan is to sort of future-proof this. I'm going to put 2 tabs on each side. I'm going to run my fogs of the Diode Dynamics SS3s on the outside to get the best spread that I can, a beam pattern. And then if I do 6 and 11 here for the tabs, that should give me enough room to run another secondary one, which I plan on picking up their Pro Series in probably a driving mode and attach that to my high beam. So we've got kind of a long range driving beam here, and then a wide spot, or excuse me, wide fog beam on the outside. And then I may even do some turn signals on the ends, but for right now we're just going to get the tabs put in here. And then I also was thinking about drilling a hole in this tubing and gusseting it for the wiring and running the wire through the tube so that I don't have a mess of wires on the outside, just to keep these outside pieces a little cleaner. So time will see if that's what I decide to do. All right, I think that's gonna do it. You can spend a lot of time cleaning up all your mistakes, filling in holes. I've only got a 4.5 inch flap disc that I'm using to clean a lot of these up, so a lot of these tight angles, I'm not going to get anything in there, and I'm not worried about grinding down welds that aren't the prettiest. I don't mind that this looks homemade, and I'm also just doing a temporary primer with kind of a spray bed online, only because I do have stuff that I want to add to this later. I want to try to get some grill protection. When this is completely done, it will probably get sandblasted and powder coated. So I've got some stuff to do in the future. Maybe by that time I'll get some different tools or sanders. I did look at picking up the 1/2 inch belt sander at Harbor Freight. However, over the holidays they were completely out of the actual 1/2 inch sanding belts to replace there. So this is kind of just temporary for now, but we're going to get this sprayed. We're going to get it on the bus, going to get the lights wired back up, and we'll go from there. All right, little touch up of some primer filler, Rust-Oleum truck bed lining that goes a long way to kind of hide imperfections, and to again, this will get powder coated down the road when I finish the fabrication. But as far as phase 1, what we're calling it, she's done for now. I did attempt to get the giant turbo model, however I didn't realize the nozzle sprays a huge fan, and it's really just very uncontrollable unless you're doing, honestly, an actual truck bed. So avoid that one. So let's get this thing mounted up. Ended up going with a 1/2 inch. I sized up on the grade 8 hardware to get this put on. Thanks for all the love and support. You guys are amazing. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow the adventure on social media, and we'll see you on the road.